Yo, I just realized I forgot all of their voices.
How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright?
Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas.
Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis! Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice.
Yes?
A defense attorney should never believe their client.
Dude, maybe Lana did actually kill the dude. I feel like she's just like, I don't know, if she's innocent, why is she like that? I don't know, man. Why are you so twisted, dude?
The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright.
Dude, I don't understand. Why is she like this? Why is she so twisted up? My first trial without a Fae helping me.
Hey, a Hexagon, thank you very much for the subscription. Carry roll out. Thank you, thank you. I'll be alone in there. So, I guess I have to discover the truth all by myself! Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way.
Wait, anyone can just be my assistant or something? Like, that's a kid, right? A high school kid? Yo, but Edgeguard is here too. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana of Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution has already been ready for a while, Your Honor.
Edgeguard. It has been 2 months, but I haven't been in the courtroom since his trial.
I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceeding today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please.
Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything.
What? Like confess that she loves him or something?
However, she will now pay for the rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness.
Well then, we'll call your first witness, Mr. Edgeguard.
The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Star, to the stand.
The cough-up queen? Oh, haven't I seen you somewhere?
You ordered the caviar lunch. Ew, what the hell is that? That's horrible.
A caviar lunch. Ho, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing down.
Oh, and for you, I have a fiesta bowl.
Excuse me? For fiesta? Is she a Dan Giesling? Thanks.
Will the witness state her name and the profession? Oh, and you, sir?
Did you order the fingerprint thing lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. How is that a fingerprint? Is it just white rice?
Well, Your Honor, how does it taste?
Wait, he actually took the caviar lunchbox?
So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty, it hurts.
I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now.
Oh, me? Oh, the name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeguard?
Well, very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up! Very well, Mr. Edgeguard. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime, but...
Oh, Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeguard has said to the court, I am a professional.
Huh? What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective.
What? Miss Starr was a detective?
Oh! I know who you are!
Cough up? Cough up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see.
Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr. Just, who is this lady?
If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutors' spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the name of A block, in the back of A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honor.
Parking lot floor plans. The parking lot with Edgeguard's car. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Well, of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright. I can't agree on principle, Your Honor.
It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they might have?
If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr.
Wait, are they talking about me? Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come.
What the hell?
I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to the garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bring a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there's no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into the Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed?
I'm still thinking about that.
It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. What the hell is she talking about? How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime. Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy.
The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted,
given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim.
Oh! Killing of a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that.
Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I would still be one. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I'm a pro. As you know, my testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Miss Star.
I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend.
This boyfriend of yours, he's the detective?
Not that boyfriend, the security guard.
That boyfriend? You have several?
Oh yes. This boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. Oh my gosh. Oh, excuse me, let's just close the door. Oh man. That part was kind of funny, it got me.
The security guard room is in the lot, the A block. It's up to the second level. It's up on the second level, so you can't see everything from there.
Well, that would be the room with the security sign. Here? I'm assuming? No, that's the entrance. Incidentally, did you bring your lunch boxes by car?
Well, since I'm a visitor now, I park in the B block. So, she was in the B block when she witnessed the crime.
What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you're sure it was the defendant?
Oh, I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her.
Well, if she's telling the truth, we're doomed!
Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick.
Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo! You were a biased witness.
Oh, you might want to keep those silly opinions to yourselves in the future, rookie.
Huh? Rookie?
Well, unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me.
I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy in the inside. Well, that was inspiring.
I believe I heard that tagline before. You could cry, plagiarism? I may be elegant to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
What the heck? A photograph! You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap! I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera.
What the hell? I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now?
Well, you think I would show it to you? A prosecutor? I'll think again. My boyfriend works in the photograph division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant. The moment of the crime is photographed by Angel Star. Well, that is unmistakably Lana Sky. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? This freaking goes forever, eh? Well, tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying.
Well, I would say the blade was about 4 inches long. Isn't that right, Mr. Edgeguard? It is your knife after all.
Well, yes, that's about right.
Prosecutors are by nature well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set.
You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person? Please do not kill an egg.
Oh, perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor?
So the defendant was holding a knife. What then?
tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes. The next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can't make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Mrs. Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Well, let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim. Killing of a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? Oh, I felt that if I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I would still be one. Oh wait, did we not do this already? Alright, let's see what we have here. We have quite a lot, actually. We got a Goodman's ID card. We got King of Prosecutors Trophy. Edgeworth's Knife. Parking Stub. Blue Badger Panel. Goodman's Autopsy. Let's see the autopsy here. Death due to loss of blood, one knife wound, died within an hour and a half. Okay, there's not much. And then there is a memo that we have no idea of. Property of Lana Sky, last call made to her sister Emma at 5:18 on the day of murder. The parking lot with Edward's car. I guess we haven't... It's just this, right? $5:18. Died within an hour and a half, so it's like 5:30. Which photo? This photo? Or this photo? With her right hand. Maybe she's like left-handed? Do you think like she's actually left-handed? Why was she stabbed with the right hand or something? Because like she's closing the trunk with her left hand. Or maybe it looks like that her right hand is, I don't know, injured or something. I see blood on her shoulder, which her right shoulder. So I think her right hand. Let's I think that's a good one. Let's do this. Take this. Oh, let's go. Huh. Easy clap in the chat. R-bongo, T-bongo, please. Oh, and you witnessed this. You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with a knife. As I have already said, yes. I swear on my finest salmon swirls lunch. That sounds really good right now. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeguard! Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble
mind, Mr. Wright. Well, what do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that?
Blood splatter.
Huh?
See the dark crimson stain on her chief prosecutor's coat?
But it's black and white photograph.
Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood.
Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you.
Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take the kind of abuse?
I mean, you got better idea? Objection! Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in the testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime.
Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies.
That's it?
If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved.
If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Well, good advice. I'm not sure if I understand it, but good advice. What? What is she? Is she just... Why is she even standing next to Phoenix Wright? She's a high school student, is she not? Was she just there for comic relief?
I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold calculating like a robot.
She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in the photograph. Well, those gloves. Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Ah! These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder, a serious offense.
Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves proves it. Well, what if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves. Gloves of the kind used for autopsies.
In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder.
It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr. This is bad. She got them thinking that it was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Mr. Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. Okay. I just feel like let's just use parking stop and see. Miles Edgeworth, 512. This is dated the day of the crime. The murder took place 3 minutes after Edgeworth parked his car. If only he was held up at a couple extra red lights, he wouldn't have been caught. Yeah, okay. So I think this is it. Cause how would it be planned when if he were to held up by a red light, then it would be hard to plan it. Nope, wrong. If this was planned, why did she not bring her own knife? Yo! Let's go! Witness, do you know what this is?
Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk.
Indeed, it was my knife. Well, what's with this case? Blah, 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 blah. Mommy. The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony.
What's that, Rookie?
In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing the special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon?
Oh.
This knife was just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Order! Order! Great, now the tide is turning in our favor.
Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister as good as free.
Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie.
What?
I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shot's a hole in the whole premeditated theory. The prosecution would care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is the lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need proof. Nothing else.
Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose that you think you're clever now? But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned.
If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing? I believe I would like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought.
How dare you?
My powers of deductions are not to be underestimated. Really now? Okay, what has changed then? Are we pressing again?
Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman.
That is why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, does it not? So if I order pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? Well, in any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. This one's easy. After we press it, we present the biopsy report saying that it was a single stab and it wasn't a stab multiple times. You have just said that. You have said that, but you haven't told us how you know.
That is what I'm about to tell you, Rookie.
I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again.
Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven, half-baked.
Something half-baked too is alright as you. You have no proof that Miss Skye called him there.
Oh, you have no proof that she didn't?
There is no record of a call made on the defendant, Miss Lana Skye's phone.
She might have written him a letter.
Come on, you could just have tried public phone first at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. Why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day? And then we press. What kind of grudge?
Well, I wouldn't know that.
Of course you wouldn't, because you're making shit up. Whoa.
I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside?
How am I supposed to know?
See? We agree there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree?
I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us about your basis on for thinking this?
Oh, it's simple.
Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. A human machine? That's a contradiction. Please. Can you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright? Note to self, Mr. Edgeworth's size smells like citrus fruit. You say again and again, how many times did she stab him exactly?
Well, we often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces.
What difference does it make if the deed is done? How come she's getting mad at me? Well, no need to worry, because this one is an easy one. I hope everyone's ready to call out objection. 3, 2, 1, take this! You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that the death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Haha! You're right! Good job, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk! He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed it? Well, witness?
Oh, you got the crime scene set, right?
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood, but now I realize that such mistakes are possible.
So you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then, tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify.
Her red muffler looks like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was.
What? Muffler? Like... Wait. Muffler like a scarf? Where is that? Well... 3, 2, 1... Objection! Miss Starr, The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you have proved yourself with this photograph.
Huh. But that can't be.
Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations! Perhaps you have finally found your true calling in your life. Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails.
What was my objection? Chopped liver?
But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really?
Well now, where are we? The witness has given us the entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of our testimony.
The most important part?
The part where your sister stabbed the victim. The next testimony might just be the moment of truth.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition of her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile.
You're quite determined about the scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against the poisonous snake bites.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
An oil drum? Hard to imagine.
Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator. This one, a leopard woman.
Rawr! Rawr! He must be a grass type. Well, very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Well, now we just gotta press. So, where is this partition on the floor plan? I'm sure she meant this wall next to the car. Well, that's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high.
She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do.
And what did you do then?
I quickly caught her.
You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect?
As I said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time.
Maybe I should press her for more detail. Press her! I would like to see this on the floor plan just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in the B block. So you witnessed the murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is that correct, Miss Starr?
Yes, that's right.
But there was a chain link fence in front of you.
Oh, I went over it, of course.
Amazing, the cough of Queen, lunch lady, athlete. Indeed.
It would have taken her a little time to climb over that fence, so she couldn't have gone to my sister that fast.
Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high as well. So how did Miss Sky not get away? That is the good question. Also, is she not wearing a dress right now? Like, wasn't she in that same dress before? How the heck do you climb the fence with that tight-ass dress?
If I remember exactly, I would have told you in my testimony.
Cheeky!
Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler.
What the heck?
Chief prosecutor was talking on her phone.
Her phone? She can't mean... Ask further. By phone, do you mean the cell phone discovered at the crime scene?
Oh yes, ultimately.
Ultimately?
My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see.
No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall.
Apparently, it was out of order.
And so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of the order that day. Well, good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to a good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony.
All the things I do to please this rookie defense attorney.
The word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18.
I saw it all. How she tried the phone on the wall, but had to use her cell phone instead. Oops. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the petition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time you climbed up the chain link fence. Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone.
And you saw her doing this?
What is it, Mr. Wright?
She made to escape. Can you be more specific?
She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard of a pate of foie gras.
I don't understand what that means.
She even kicked over an oil drum at me.
An oil drum? Well, there was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime. But it's strange. What's that? If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way around? Oh, the parking lot entrance.
That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind a partition to the oil drums.
Excellent, more mysteries. Well, I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So, Miss Sky tried to run.
I'm sorry my sister's so suspicious, Mr. Wright.
Not as sorry as I am.
But she didn't do it. You have to believe me.
Okay. Did we not read all? Ah, I saw it all. How she tried the phone on the wall but had to use her call instead. Should we present the floor map? Because there is a partition here. And when she was about to make a phone call, if she was here, then she won't be able to see Lana Sky here. Unless she actually literally climbed it over a second, then she will be able to see her making a phone call. You know what I mean? Let's try this. 3, 2, 1. Objection! Miss Star, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarried by personal bias.
Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor?
You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Star, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this?
I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me and I'll make you cough it all up.
Well, look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the backside of the partition. If indeed you were in the B block, you couldn't have seen it. Order! Order! What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about where she saw it. Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is the significant about the fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be the pointless of Miss Star to lie about it. But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Star witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location. Now that's a pointless lie if I heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell you. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony we have heard until now points in the one direction. Was here. Security room, right? The security guard room. Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned.
It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness not being part of the prosecutor's office couldn't park in the A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr? How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the table could have been turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Order! Order! Witness, what have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilt will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty. Is she talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, does this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make any sense. Huh? She could have just said that she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they are guilty of perjury. She knows this. Wait, in this game they actually know about perjury? Wait. Hold on a second. In this game they care about perjury. If this is a valid point, shouldn't, like, I don't know, man, like 3 cases before, I feel like we should have used this 3 cases before. Exactly, perjury never bothered anyone in Phoenix Wright. What are they talking about? Now they're pulling this card? Well, so tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference, but what? What could change? Difference in lightning? Excuse me? Obviously, it's the angle of the view of the crime, dude. Why the angle at which she saw the crime occur would change? The angle? What do you mean? She would have sort of more of a 3D view of the crime. Oh wait, am I wrong? I guess it's the distance. Okay, fine. It's the distance. It's the distance! Angle, distance, same thing. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plan and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky? Well, witness? You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing up peanut butter and jelly lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass wall station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. Oh my gosh. That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking in B block.
Well, that's quite a detour.
It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
For 5 minutes?
This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely. Uh-oh.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something.
Do I have any evidence to stop this? Raise an objection. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You can make pasta in that amount of time, if you like it al dente.
I've got a lunchbox that ties pasta into knots, rookie.
A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I would flee the scene. Hey! Don't get me wrong. I didn't kill anyone. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time, it was different. Miss Guy dwindled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal will act this way. It is inconceivable. Well then, Mr. Wright, I'm not a killer, but you kind of called me out that I have a killer instinct. But I hope you mean it like a killer instinct. As I have quite a galaxy brain, not in the sense of I have an instinct of a killer. But anyways, it seems that we have come to the end of testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and the blank in their testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on an account of her professional history.
We did it! We screwed that Ken shot, Mr. Wright.
Oh, that was too close. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Hold it!
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right?
Well, that's what she tried to foist off of me. I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say?
I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further question to ask of you, Miss Starr.
Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple-decker. Out of defense to the witness determination, I will allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed.
What is she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? Bribery!
I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene, and now, to the matter of the victim's shoe, did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was course, the victim's, and the other blood type matches that of the defendant's, Miss Lana Sky. The shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
She was holding a shoe this whole time? There was a blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
What? It was in her lunchbox? Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've ever heard about this evidence?
Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That is why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had blood tests performed?
Oh, didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends and 4 and 6.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
Well, it seems so. Edgeworth is celebrating.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, the shoe has been already tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Oh, anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Victim shoe added to the court record. White enamel shoe bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana Sky. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. When does this stop? Where's this freaking lunch lady, dude? Why did you lie about those 5 minutes?
Well, I guess you could say that I just wanted people to look at the results.
The results?
Oh, how many times do I have to say this?
I saw the chief prosecutor stabbing this victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth?
Oh, don't make me laugh.
We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lots known as the prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. This is when the suspect is admitting she did it. But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with. That's how I feel exactly as well. And you found the shoe at the scene of the crime.
I detained the chief prosecutor and noted the police department.
I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. So like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe.
I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. The shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I should have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen.
I'm happy for you and your lunchbox. Big? Really? In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now, tell us what you did next. Isn't she guilty? So you brought it into the forensics department. Oh, whoopsies.
If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it to be approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensic expert.
And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Well, the man was stabbed after all.
And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman.
As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe.
You can't say for sure that the blood belonged to the defendant with the blood test.
Oh, you claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Well, speak up.
Well, blood comes in 4 types. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. Well, that's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person, or so I hear.
Well, that's pretty
If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results, but they said there's very little doubt. There's very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Sky's.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of the Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. Well, the shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. DNA! DNA! I can't let this evidence to go through without a fight. What the heck is that, dude? Fish guts? You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? What the heck?
Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup.
Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with the shoe? A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? There's a problem. If I'm not imagining things, I would say there's one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction.
That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I will give you a peppered fish guts now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is the contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. I don't know. He stepped on the blood? Could that be it? Blood splattering, I understand. But then he stepped on the blood. Let's do this. Take this! I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of the shoe.
Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense, the victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be the contradictory about the blood on the bottom of the shoe? Dude, I don't know. I was just kind of going with the flow. he got stabbed, and yet he stepped on the blood. Oh, there's no blood on the floor. The problem lies in the footprints.
The footprints?
Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then,
isn't it strange?
why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about the shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeguard? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Well, witness?
What? Great going, Mr. Wright, but is it true that the lack of the footprints is a contradiction? Then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't any of footprints.
Think, Mr. Wright, think.
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions.
What?
Hold it. Ah, I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one viral hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about the apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside
kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator. This one. A leopard. Leopard. Leopard woman noir. Jesus Christ. I thought that was a strange thing for a normal cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that, huh? I'm not sure I like your attitude. I'm not sure if I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeguard. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Don't you want to know the reason why she knocked it over? The real reason? You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason, and the one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstain left on the victim's shoe tied her quite clearly to the murder. Then after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale sign. Millie19, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you, kid. Every roll out. Thank y'all. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, Miss Guy's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on her shoe. Well, I see no reason to prolong the trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please. Well, what? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. Enough. There's no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But in your star is one of the prosecutor's eyes. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. Hold it! Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid the evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you would have had your fill, but here you are, demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox calls evidence. Wait, witness. Don't tell me you have something else. This time for deliberations is a past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare me, Cough Off Queen. Look at this. What the heck, my dude? Why can't she not give the evidence all at once? Gonna beat her up. A photograph? I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. Well, I see no room for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, wait! Look at this asphalt in the photo. Hey, it's clearly wet! Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind, immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the get-go. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up of the asphalt. Take a good look. Don't give up, not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence. Well, very well. This time I would like to declare a verdict for good.
Your Honor, wait! What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdict in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it cannot. But it will be too late. Look at this photograph. At the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we get each piece of evidence proper consideration. So Wright, are you saying there's a problem with the latest evidence? Yes. There's a problem. I suppose since we have come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Farewell, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph. What is this towel coming out of the exhaust vent? Also, I don't really get it. The floor is wet. Then, how would it get... Oh, it could be wet with the blood. Not like wet with water. Muffler in the muffler! What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or a scarf or any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also a part of on a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as a part of the exhaust system, a pipe. Oh, I see. What is the suspicious looking claw sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Sorry, Miss Starr, but this ain't gonna be easy. In fact, you have already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth and the muffler relate to this case. Present the cell phone! The muffler! Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court.
Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler! Ah!
Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered, here we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we have seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Oh, well, that was close. But we made it, at least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. He's still hungry? To be continued.